Let's go.
Was that a Pinocchio?
1-1, sky to right. Deep and gone!
Sanchez hits one deep to left field, going back. Gurriel looking up. See ya! A two-run home run for Sanchez, and the Yankees lead 2-1.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Between the Lines. I'm your host, Tanner Kern, and this show is dedicated to all things baseball. I want to welcome Eric Neff to the show. No longer a recurring guest. I would call him a co-host right now. Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It's in the midst of our thing, man, this baseball season thing, and we're having a blast now. Everything's really starting to get exciting. Quarter of the way through the season. You got the NHL playoffs going on at the same time. You got the NBA playoffs going on at the same time. So a lot going on in the sports world right now. And, I'm happy whenever all kinds of things like that are going on.
Yeah, definitely. So before we get into today's show, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the Sports 2.0 network on YouTube. We have a ton of great content on there. If you are a baseball fan, we have even more great content. Been putting a lot of baseball stuff up there. So make sure you smash that subscribe button right now. And also just wanted to make a quick announcement about the show. So on Monday nights, I will be doing a pure news Between the Lines episode where I talk about just updates going on in the league. And then on Thursday nights at 6, Eric is going to be joining the show, and we are going to be doing our 3 up, 3 down segment and also picking a few topics to discuss that were hot in the week and breaking those down. So, Eric, I'm ready to get right into this. How about you?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. What do we got tonight? What are we talking about?
So this week, Spencer Turnbull and Corey Kluber throw back-to-back no-hitters. Yeah, not even this week. Back-to-back nights. Corey Kluber with a gem last night, Spencer Turnbull the night before. And the funny thing is all these teams are getting no-hit twice. Corey Kluber no-hit the Texas Rangers last night, and that's the second time they've gotten no-hit. So it's been pretty interesting this season. What are your thoughts on the no-hitters going on?
For one thing, it is hilarious to me that we have – I'm calling it 7 no-hitters. I'm saying 7.
Should be.
Because mostly because you can't move the fence back on him, you know. He didn't choose that. It wasn't his choice to go to a 7-inning doubleheader. All he can do is go out there, start the games that he needs to start, and pitch the amount of innings that he needs to pitch. And just because it was 7, I'm not going to fault him for that. I fault the MLB for not, just giving us regular 9-inning games. But it's hilarious to me that it's happened to 3 teams twice apiece. That's fantastic. Texas, Cleveland, come on, guys, get your stuff together. The other team that got no hits, you're not as bad, but still get your stuff together, man.
Seattle's average is 199 right now. Come on, they're all below the Mendoza.
They're one of those teams that on paper I'm like, I want them to be good so bad that in my mind they are. You got Kelenic, you've got Kyle Lewis. That's one of those teams that you want to be good, but they're just not. But as far as the no hitters go, not just the guys that they've been thrown on, but how many are we going to end up with this year? I don't know. And I don't know if it's something that needs addressed right away, right now. Are we going to shatter all kinds of records this year with no hitters? Was it the adjustment that the MLB made with the balls? Is it that you're seeing more pitchers use foreign substances such as pine tar and things like that on their hats, which if you watch baseball like I do every night, you can physically see on 75% of pitchers' hats, you can see the pine tar. And I'm 100% fine with that. I think if a batter can use it to hold on to the bat, I don't understand why a pitcher can't use it to spin the baseball. It's each thing is helping that person at their job. People put it in their gloves so the ball sticks. I don't understand why we would single out one position and be like, well, you can't use it though. People have been using foreign substances for 100 years. So I really couldn't see that being the reason suddenly that you're seeing all this. However, if you look at it, a lot of these guys that we are pretty positive that are using those foreign substances, their spin rates have gone up the last few years with several guys, and that's both starting and relief pitchers. And it's gone up even more this year. So possibly the use of foreign substances on top of Major League Baseball changing the ball on top of just a terrible plate approach from left-handed hitters at this point in the game. And I know it's not all their fault. You can't undo a lifetime of mechanics. I understand that. And then maybe add in the shift. And I think suddenly we've found this perfect storm for all these no-hitters. It's kind of crazy. It's great for some pitchers' stats. It'll be great for some pitchers' careers. It'll be great for some guys heading into free agency. But overall, I think Clayton Kershaw said it best. It's not good. It's not good for the game. No-hitters are exciting to watch because they're rare. Nobody wants to watch them 3 or 4 times a week. I'd rather see a million home runs get hit or, a million base hits and lots of runs being scored. Everybody wants to, just like everybody wants to see the runs being scored. So, and no-hitters are fun. I love them, but they can't happen every week or back-to-back nights. They really can't happen back-to-back nights multiple times in a season. That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. So I have covered all the no-hitters on baseballspotlight.com. I finished writing the Spencer Turnbull article. I turn on the Yankees game, and here's Corey Kluber throwing another no-hitter. It's like it's getting to be a little too much right now. Like you said, it's supposed to be a special occasion. A no-hitter is supposed to be something that's raved about and excitement, generates excitement, but it's turning into it like the 3 home run game, something that doesn't happen much, but it happens enough where we're not making a big enough deal about it past like the day. And that's what bums me out. I'm going to say it's basically because of the plate approaches right now. I mean, guys are not trying to put the ball in the plate. It's becoming a home run, strikeout, walk game, and that's what we've seen this year. And I think that's why we're getting so many no-hitters. We're on track for about 20-something right now. So it could be a long year for the no-hitters. Yeah,
it really could be. And when it comes to plate approach, I'm kind of I'm of the new school way of thinking. I get it. On base percentage plus dingers equals more runs being scored than the small ball of old. Like, I understand what the analytics say. But overall, it's just not as good of a product, I don't think, to bring to the fans. And the fans are the reason that these guys make millions and the owners make billions and all of that. So I just think MLB is bringing a much worse product to the fans this way. And something's got to be done. They've got to change the ball back or something. I don't know. I want to blame it on the ball so much, I think, just because I hate Rob Manfred. But I just want to blame the ball because I don't think excuse me, I don't think we've had anything else that's so drastically changed instantly. I mean, these terrible plate approaches that we've seen, the home run or nothing, or the 3 possible outcome hitters, that's been going on for a few years now. And we haven't seen such a drastic shift in anything like this. If anything, it went the other way. There was a drastic shift every year for the last decade. We've been setting records for the most home runs hit ever in an MLB season. So, it's kind of went the other way. And then I think what we're seeing now is a huge overcorrection of that. I don't know if they softened the ball. I don't know what they did. I know that this is one of the only years that pitchers and hitters alike have said they can feel a difference in the ball. They could tell this time. Other times they were unsure when the ball got changed. This time they were 100% positive the ball was different, which makes me want to know what's different about it. What did they do? What is happening? I need a scientist or a baseball god to come down and explain to me why we're seeing no hitters 74 times a week. I don't get it. This is so new. It's just a thing I never thought I'd see in the game. Suddenly everybody's Nolan Ryan out there. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to talk about starting pitchers tonight in honor of the no-hitter, and we're going to do our weekly 3 up, 3 down segment where we talk about 3 players or teams who are trending up and 3 players or teams who are trending down. Tonight, as you can see, it's starting pitcher talk with Eric Neff. First guy on the down list, we're going to talk about Patrick Corbin. Corbin, 2-3 with a 6.10 ERA. He's a 2-time All-Star. I expect more out of Corbin. I expect more out of the Nationals in general. Eric, what's your thoughts on Corbin so far?
Oh, my thoughts is, hey, man, you're going to be a free agent after this year. And you're making $25 million in the last year. This is not good, man. You're going to be 32 years of age heading into the free agency market. And what we're seeing so far, this is not the Pat Corbin of old. This is not the Pat Corbin we saw at the end in Arizona or his first season in Washington. I don't know what this is. It's odd. This is A guy who I've loved since he came into the league. Think he's one of the best left-handed pitchers in the league. Think he is possibly just going through something early here. He's already given up 10 home runs, which is second worst in the league, only by one. 11 is the worst. There's a couple guys tied with 11, including a guy we're going to talk about in a minute. But he's allowed 28 earned, 16 walks to 33 strikeouts. He's worth -6 WAR right now, or -6. That would be terrible. -0.6 WAR right now. His ERA plus is 63, 37 under average. That's not going to get it done for the Nats. The Nats rely on that pitching staff. They don't quite have enough offensively to do a ton of damage in the East. I mean, of course, they have Soto and Turner. They're great. They've got a few other decent pieces. Schwarber's really been smoking the baseball lately, so that's good for them. But without their top 3 starters going on all cylinders, that team is just not going to be able to get it done in the East. So the Nats are going to depend on Corbin to do much better than he is now. You know, you can't come in with a 6.10 ERA, 45 hits. Like I said, 10 home runs already given up. That's crazy. And also since 2018, which was his final season in Arizona, he had a 31% strikeout rate in 2018, and it's decreased every season since then. Now, given that's only been technically one full season because we had the odd 2020 season, but still, you know, you're making $25 million. You're getting paid like an ace, even though that is a staff that has Strasburg and Scherzer on it. You're getting paid like an ace, and you're heading into free agency. This is not the impression you want to make to the rest of the league or to the team that you play for, possibly courting you.
Yeah, and it's funny you talk about 2018. He had 246 strikeouts in 2018. I don't think people understand how hard that actually is to do for a guy like Corbin, for any pitcher in the league. Striking out 246 batters in a year is legit. He's only at 33 right now in 41 innings of work. That's not going to cut it this year for Corbin. Like you said, he's getting paid way too much to underperform in Washington. Washington's a team that I'm waiting for them to get hot. Right now is the time of the year where this team usually picks up some steam. We'll see if it can happen. They've ripped off a few wins as of late, but if Patrick Corbin is not delivering, this team isn't going to do a thing because they need him delivering. They need Scherzer delivering, and they need Strasburg back and actually pitching and staying healthy.
Exactly. 100% agree. And also, isn't it odd that the Nats usually make noise like every May? That is a fact. It's always mid-May, beginning of June. Suddenly Juan Soto starts hitting every baseball within 30 feet of the plate. And Scherzer comes out of June with like a .73 ERA or something crazy. And it just seems like every year that this Nats team does that. So
I'm waiting for it.
They 100% have to have Strasburg back, and they have to have their other 2 top line starters going now.
Yeah, definitely. So this next guy we're going to talk about, Dallas Keuchel. Now, when you sent me this name earlier today, I was a little skeptical because if you kind of glance at Keuchel's stats, he hasn't been that bad. He's 3-1 with a 4.44 ERA. The strikeout numbers have not been there, only 24 in 50 innings. But the thing about Keuchel is he's a former Cy Young winner in 2015. These stats are not good for a guy that should be leading a staff. Now, the White Sox are loaded. We're going to talk about them later with some of the issues they've been having with Tony La Russa and Yermin Mercedes and that whole old school versus new school mentality. But tell me a little more about Dallas Keuchel, Eric.
Well, what made Dallas so successful, not only in 2015, but, I mean, he dominated last year. We saw him really have another fantastic season in the shortened season last year. And that's it. He keeps the ball in the yard. And that's one thing that he's not doing as well this year. He just can't seem to quite keep the ball. I think he's given up 6 home runs this year, so not quite as extreme as some of the other guys. But ERA mid-4s, 24 strikeouts, 15 walks on the season. As you said, 2015 Cy Young winner, a guy that finished, I forget, maybe 6th in Cy Young voting last season. Basically, since a year ago, his ERA has doubled. And he's pretty close to the amount of innings he pitched last season, actually, or getting there. And already he's, I want to say, 1 walk away from equaling what he equaled all season last season. So he's got to stop walking, guys. He's got to keep the ball in the yard. And he makes the list more because he's on a first-place team. And this is a team that Lucas Giolito can't go out there and pitch every day. this staff also has to bring it. Their offense, they're getting it done. What can we say? Their offense is everybody up and down the lineup is hitting the ball. Andrew Vaughn's starting to get it going. Really liking what I'm seeing out of the White Sox offense. I've always been a huge Yoan Moncada guy. I'm love to see that guy out there hitting 285 and already scored 20 runs and stuff. But Keuchel has to do better than a 4.5 ERA for this team to work. And I think Giolito started off a little rough. He really got his stuff back together. Keuchel has kind of trended the opposite direction. His last few starts have been a little edgy. So this is a guy that's got to find his rhythm to keep the White Sox going.
Yeah, you know who my favorite pitcher is on the White Sox right now? Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn just looks like a guy that would pitch for the White Sox.
He looks like he should pitch in only overalls with no undershirt. Like, he just looks like he should, I don't know. That's just what I picture Lance Lynn, just in blue jean overalls with like a piece of straw in his mouth, just throwing fastballs out there. It's crazy. I love Lance Lynn as a Cardinal, and one of my favorite players in the league. Fun guy, very fun guy, Lance Lynn.
Yeah, and so our final guy on the down list should take a lesson from Lance Lynn this year. His name is Kyle Hendricks, and if there's one thing you need to know about Kyle Hendricks, he is leading the league in one stat that Eric mentioned earlier. That's the one stat you don't want to lead the league in as a pitcher, and that is home runs. He has given up 11 on the season. The whole Cubs team, just a team that underperforms, they're so inconsistent right now. They got guys like Javi Baez, Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant. They should be winning more baseball games, but because of guys like Kyle Hendricks, I'm not saying it's just Hendricks, but Hendricks has not been good this year. 5.27 ERA. He needs to be better for this team to be good. Eric, lay it on me.
Absolutely. The Central's a weird division this year, in my opinion, and the Cardinals have gotten pretty hot as of late and kind of taken off a little bit. The Brewers are staying right there, but the Cubs seem to be staying right there with the Brewers, which is what led me to talk about Kyle Hendricks. Because if Kyle Hendricks can find the Kyle Hendricks of old, the 2.38 ERA Kyle Hendricks that keeps the ball on the ground, man, that could be huge for this Cubs team. And maybe they don't go into the trade deadline as sellers. Maybe they go buy a piece and make a run at the division or make a run at a wild card spot. So that's why I mentioned Hendricks on this list, because he's a very important piece for that Cubs team. As you just said, leads the league in the category that you don't want to lead the league, and 11 home runs already. He's already given up 56 hits on the year, which is insane. His walks are actually fine. His walks are, I believe, right on pace with his career numbers, percentage-wise. I think he's walked, 10 guys and struck out 30 on the year. So that ERA's got to be well under 5, though, and down under 4. And, we like to see Kyle Hendricks down around 3. That's where he likes it. That's the problem with the guys like Hendricks that don't have overpowering stuff. They rely on their brain. They rely on location. Location. Now, whenever Aroldis Chapman is missing by 2 or 3 inches, yeah, that's fine, because you're not going to take 102, 450 feet, However, if you're Kyle Hendricks and you're throwing 89 to 91 and you miss the corner and it leaks out over the heart of the plate, this is the major leagues. That's probably going to end up on the other side of the wall, or at least in a gap. So Hendricks has to work on location. He's got to find the location. He's got to find the control that he's had in previous years of his career and get it back together. I think he will. Kyle Hendricks is that type of guy that, as a Cardinal fan, every time we face him, I'm like, I could hit this guy. Let me up there. Give me a bat. What is wrong with all of you? Go sit down. You all suck. I want a bat. And still, every time, you're at the end of 7 or 8 innings, and he's thrown 84 stupid pitches, and you have 1 run, and you're losing by 5, and you're like, man, how's this guy do this? But he does it. He's a smart pitcher. He knows to keep the ball on the ground, and he hits his spots. And those are a couple of things that he is not doing as well early this season.
Yeah, the game has not changed so much where ground ball pitchers are not going to be successful. I know the fastball, everyone wants to know about spin rate and fastballs and velocity and how fast the ball's coming out of a guy's hand. But here's the thing. These guys can be successful. You look at Wade Miley a few weeks ago with the no-hitter for the Reds. I mean, if you hit your spots and you pitch smart, you can be very, very good in this league. And Wade Miley was an example of it. Kyle Hendricks in the past has been an example of it, but got to get that ERA down a little bit.
Absolutely. And the Cubs, they have to have it because they just don't have, they don't have much outside of them starting wise, or, they're not a super talented team. This would have to be a team that makes it in like like they'd have to San Francisco Giants their way in, It's going to take a total team effort. It's going to take all 9 guys on the field at all times doing their job and doing it well. Or I guess we could call that they could Bill Belichick their way in. Do your job.
Yeah.
Know your role. Do your job.
Are you disrespecting the best team in baseball right now, the San Francisco Giants?
Nah, man, that's crazy. I could talk for an hour just about the Giants because I'm so confused as to what's going on out there. But they keep hammering the ball, and I do love to see it. It makes me sad because I have Mike Yastrzemski on my fantasy teams, and he's not hammering the ball. And he's the guy who you kind of expected to come out and semi-lead that offense. But, man, that team's crazy. I love seeing it, though, because to me, baseball is a lot more fun when both the Dodgers and the Giants are good, whenever that rivalry is hot. That's one of those rivalries that you love to see. It's like Yankees-Red Sox. It's like Cubs-Cardinals. That's one of those rivalries to me that makes baseball better and more fun.
And we're going to get that series this weekend, guys. So make sure you tune in for Dodgers and Giants all weekend. Should be a good one. So we're going to transition to the upside of the 3 up, 3 down. We're going to start with a guy named John Means from Baltimore. John Means is a guy you got to build a franchise around. I mean, he's leading the league in so many categories, ERA, WHIP, just to name a few. But Means is a guy along with the Cedric Mullins. This can be the future of this franchise. Start building around these guys and then, get ready for some star prospects to come up like Adley Rutschman. Orioles could be something to get excited about. Talk to me about John Means.
First of all, congrats, Orioles, on not completely boring all of us this season. You're starting to play a little bit of good baseball. You're starting to see some bright spots. You've got Means, Trey Mancini. What a story that is. You love to see it. And then, of course, like you just said, their prospects, Adley and Heston, those guys are going to be coming along. So they could get exciting the next couple of years. Cedric Mullins, just incredible contact rate this season out of Cedric Mullins. This guy takes plate appearances like he's been in the league for 15 years. So love watching that guy hit. But John Means leading the major leagues in WAR. Now, given, I'm sure, a third of his 2.9 WAR probably all came from the no-hitter. A lot of it, I know a good percentage of it did. Another one of the guys that have the no-hitter, but that's fine. Yeah, and
he was one of the first ones, so it was okay at that point.
It was still cool then.
Yeah,
it was. The no-hitter was still cool. His brother, who I believe is in the minor leagues, was cheering him on Twitter. I saw that was really cool. Love seeing stuff like that. This guy's a family man, and he's just, like you just said, he's the type of guy that you build a franchise around. Him and Mullins both. You've got your leadoff hitter, and you've got your starting pitcher. Now you just go get a few more pieces to go with these young guys, man. So he's struck out 60 guys already this year. Craziness. Only 11 walks in 58.1 innings pitched. So pretty crazy. His ERA plus is 2.55 right now. 2.55 ERA plus. For those of you that don't follow ERA plus, that's really, really, really effing good, man. That's 100 is league average. So he's 155 points above league average ERA plus. Pretty insane. And striking out 9 per 9 right now, which is, I believe, just outside the top 10 from what I read, I think, if I remember right. And I have a terrible memory, so I probably don't remember right. But he's only allowed 11 runs all season. That's just crazy. 1.7 ERA, 4-0, already almost to a 3 WAR. When he was an all-star 2 seasons ago, he produced, I think, 4.9 WAR was what he had in 2019 when he was an all-star. He's already, well over halfway there, and he's 8-9 starts into the season. So this guy's going to be a lot of fun to watch for the next very long time. Young guy. He's going to continue bringing this heat in that East for a long time. He's going to give very, very well good hitting teams like the Yankees and Blue Jays fits for the next several years.
Yeah, and it's a shame. It is a shame that the Orioles lost that game last night to the Rays. Up 6-3. Means throws an absolute gem. Rays come back, win it. When I do my daily picks every day on baseballspotlight.com, that I picked the Orioles yesterday because of John Means. He puts them in a situation to win, and they just don't have that firepower, like you said. But they're going to get there when we get Adley up, when we get Cedric Mullins build around him. This is going to be a pretty good team in the future. I mean, I don't think they're going to be Yankees or Red Sox just because of the money. This is a money game, but Orioles could make a run in the next few years.
Yeah, they could kind of turn into like the Rays of last year, just kind of stir the pot up in the East a little bit, make it interesting down the stretch. Maybe give one of those 2 teams, 3 teams we've just mentioned a run for their money late over the next couple of years. They're going to be good. I hope. It's another team that I grew up watching, Cal Ripken Jr. So I'd love to see Orioles fans have something to root for again.
Yeah, and I think after Mancini's home run last night, he actually leads the home runs at Camden Yards. I think it was either Judge or Stanton before. But good thing we have an Oriole leading the home runs at Baltimore Park at Camden Yards.
Ouch.
So
that's rough.
That is rough, man. So our next guy is probably your favorite human being in the world. Jack Flaherty leads the league in wins with 8. Has just been disgusting this year. He's made 9 starts. In that one start that he did not got the no decision, the Cardinals still won. So they are undefeated with him on the mound. Eric, take it away, man.
Love this guy. He's my favorite pitcher in the league. He's becoming very quickly my favorite, just all-around player in the league. Great person on and off the field. I have had extremely high hopes for Flaherty for a couple of years now. Everybody knows about the second half of 2019. He had setting records with like the 1.4 ERA or whatever it was the second half after the All-Star break. So I heard a lot of last year and in the offseason, all we've got's one good half a season. And the guy's not even – at the time wasn't 25 years old yet. I mean, if you go back and look at some of the greatest pitchers of all time, look at their first 4 or 5 seasons. A lot of these guys had terrible, just awful first 4 and 5 seasons. Chris Carpenter was terrible the first 7 seasons of his career. Looked like he was going to wash out of the league terrible. Pretty sure he had close to a 7 ERA his last season with Toronto before the Cardinals bring him in, make him an ace, Cy Young Award winner, World Series champion. So this guy's young. It takes some guys a little longer to develop. Flaherty, obviously, something has clicked this year. His slider is on fire. He's added a curveball. He's always had a bit of a cutter. Now he's throwing the cutter a little bit more. His fastball, not a ton of speed, but a ton of movement. He can jack it up to 97, 98 when he wants to. He doesn't need to. This is another guy that when he hits the spots, he's unhittable. I mean, I was telling you earlier about doing pitch tunneling, and whenever, a slider that's moving 83 and a fastball that's moving 98 are in the same spot at the same time, 10 feet in front of you, and they end up 2 feet apart. I don't know what you do with that. It's just impossible to hit him right now. His numbers are ridiculous. His WAR is not quite as high as the other guys we're going to talk about. He's only at about a 1.2, but 8-0, 9 starts. I know pitching wins can be discounted these days, but in my opinion, team wins while he's on the mound can't, and that's why I gotta give him the edge and shove him in there. It's the only thing that really put him in here over Woodruff this week, because Brandon Woodruff's just been completely absurd up there in Milwaukee. So I only gave Flaherty the edge and put him in here because of his record, undefeated, and team wins while he's on the mound.
Yeah, and if you don't think Jack Flaherty's an ace, there are people out there who do not think he is worthy of being an ace. I hope that his stats so far have silenced that critique, because there were people going into the season saying Flaherty's not going to be a reputable ace, and then you got Wainwright coming behind him. The Cardinals are done. I might have been one of those people saying that Adam Wainwright was not going to be a reputable number 2. I've eaten those words a little bit, but I've always said Flaherty was good. What would you say to someone who does not think Jack Flaherty is an ace?
I would caution them that before they say things like that, they should watch a baseball game, because you can't be watching. There's no way. You got to be listening on the radio and think he's getting lucky. I don't know what you're doing. You watch this man pitch. Watch him work. His work ethic is there. He's only going to get better. And if you're watching this guy pitch right now, he's just been disturbing this year. As I said, he's got so much of his stuff together this year. He's found something. He's found something with Yachty. Yachty can kind of bring that out of guys. He's still got Yachty behind the plate. He's taken advantage of that. And I think Andrew Kisner is also learning from Yachty while he's sitting on the bench. So he knows how to take over catching Flaherty once Yachty's done after this year, next year. So the Cardinals are going to be fine at the front end of their staff with Flaherty for a good while. And then, of course, they've got a few guys in the pipes that can possibly step up and be that number two. Right now, it's kind of been Waino. Waino this year, he's been very good for being a 40-year-old dude. But Kim has been really good. Kim walked his first right-handed hitter since I don't even know when. It was some crazy stat. Since like the very beginning of last year, he walked his first right-handed hitter the other night. So I've loved everything that Kim has brought to this Cardinals pitching staff. Also, you got Matthew Liberatore in the minors. So Cardinals pitching staff should be okay for the next few years, and hopefully they can get Arenado signed for a few more years and have an offense to go with it.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Cardinals are the team to beat right now in the Central Division, I think. But Milwaukee, I don't know. Milwaukee could be good. They have a great pitching staff. Offense is really struggling right now. That's why Corbin Burns is 2-3 on the year, but he has a 1.79 ERA. He's been fantastic and definitely the biggest surprise we have seen in all baseball, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on Corbin Burns? And I know you're a Cardinals fan, so do you think he is the reason that the Cardinals are sitting at home in October this year?
I think that if we are sitting at home, that him and Woodruff would be the reason. This guy is just absurd. His sinker and his cutter are the two pitches that I like to highlight when watching him. Even though his slider, there it is, his slider is so tight as well. Like he can make the ball break every direction. Look right there, that broke out. That's a cutter away that breaks the opposite direction as his cutter in. If he throws that into a lefty, it comes at him. I don't know how he does that. I don't know how he has two different cutters that go two different directions, and then his slider breaks down and away too. It's just, he's got so much movement. He's looked so good. He's putting up Jacob deGrom numbers. I say that not only because of his strikeouts, his innings, and his ERA, but of course because of his win-loss record as well. His team has not fared as well as he would like this season. However, with him and Woodruff on the mound, the Brewers are going to have a shot at this division or at a wild card spot if they stay healthy all year. I don't care if their offense stays this bad all year. Their offense is very bad right now. Of course, they're going to get Yelich back. That's going to help a little. Hopefully his back's healthy. Regardless of whether that offense improves, they're going to be fine. They're going to at least be in contention at the end. I don't think the Cardinals completely run away with this division or anything. I think that Burns and Woodruff keep the Brewers in it all year. The combination of those two is just absurd. Pretty much every pitching statistic that John Means does not lead, Brandon Woodruff or Corbin Burns does. So that pitching staff in Milwaukee, if they could get that offense going around it, they could be dangerous. I mean, if they had the offense they had a couple of years ago, and I think they have the potential to have a better offense with the addition of Colton Wong, if Keston Hiura gets it going like he was just a few years back. So if they get Yelich back at full strength, Hiura, Wong, these guys, they start getting in a rhythm, this could be a very scary team because you do not want to face Burns or Woodruff right now at all.
No, you don't. It's a nasty, nasty staff. But the benefit of facing them right now is if you push across 2 to 3 runs, you've got a great chance of winning the baseball game. So if you can figure out a way to manufacture a few, they're not scoring a lot of runs right now. And even with Kristen Yelich, I mean, towards the end, he's got the back issues. There's talks of them trading Kristen Yelich depending on how he performs the rest of the season. And that's a guy that they were planning on building around for years and years with the size of his contract. So I don't know. I'm hopeful that the Cardinals win the division this year. I think the offense is going to hurt them. This is an offensive league. I know pitching and defense wins games, but you still need to score runs to consistently win.
Absolutely. And I think in the end, and the Cardinals are starting to find it a little bit. They're starting to score. Arenado's been ridiculous. Leads most of the major leagues in most statistical categories since the beginning of May. He's just been ridiculous, really getting it going. But I think the Brewers and the Cardinals could run into the same issue at the end of the season whenever it starts winding down, and that is consistently scoring runs. Because I think both of their pitching staffs will be okay. And, of course, the Cardinals have the fantastic defense. The Brewers have a very good defense as well. So I think it's between those two teams who can consistently put up 3 or 4 a night. Whichever team is going to consistently get you 4 runs a night is probably going to be the team that takes the Central Division. And then maybe the other one sneaks on a wild card. I don't know. The NL is pretty deep this year. So, but I think the Cardinals I think they can sneak it out. I just don't think the Brewers are quite going to have enough offensively unless MVP Yelich comes back. If MVP version of Yelich comes back, then all bets are off. That he can change the game like that, just like Arenado can for the Cardinals. MVP Yelich can come back and completely change it. And unlike the Brewers, the Cardinals don't have a Corbin Burns and a Brandon Woodruff. We do have a Jack Flaherty, but there's only one of them, and I don't think we have a number 2 that's anywhere close to those 2 guys. So it'd be tough if MVP Yelich did come back for the Brewers because Woodruff and Burns are just unhittable right now.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a great race, and make sure you guys tune into Between Lines now 2 days a week on Mondays and Thursdays to get caught up on all the latest news around the league. But before we finish tonight's episode, we're going to talk about the unwritten rules of baseball. So let me paint the picture real quickly. Yermin Mercedes is batting in the top of the 9th inning on Monday, I believe. It's a 15-4 game. He's playing the Twins. I'm going to put the clip up on the screen and explain it as it goes. Wrong clip there. Let me get here we go. Okay, so Williams Astudillo is on the mound. He's a position player, and he threw a 47-mile-an-hour fastball that Yermin Mercedes returned at a 109-mile-an-hour exit velocity over the 411 sign in center field. That's pretty impressive right there. I mean, that just flat out, no matter how you feel about the situation, to take a 47-mile-an-hour fastball and put it over 411 feet is very, very impressive at a 109-mile-an-hour exit velocity. Tony La Russa didn't like this very much. He's an old school guy. Yermin, I loved how Yermin referred to himself in the third person after the game when they said, "Are you sorry?" He's like, "Yermin's going to do what Yermin wants to do." Like I love that. I thought that was awesome. But Eric, first of all, I want to get your opinion. What are your thoughts on the unwritten rules of baseball on this whole situation? Break it down for me.
Listen, man, I had to deal with this alcoholic slave driver for most of my adult life as a Cardinal fan. I'm not going to listen to him anymore. He's absurd. Like, oh, you can listen to some unwritten rules, but you can't listen to the written rules of the road, Tony La Russa. Maybe worry about not drinking or driving and not worry about your players hitting home runs. I mean, what more can you say? This is the game of baseball. I don't know what you would expect Yermin to do there. 3-0 count, position player on the mound. You just stand there and wait for him to walk you or strike you out. Why don't we just end the game then? Why don't we just have the Twins manager? Put the mercy rule in, or have the Twins manager walk out and be like, "We give up.
Yeah.
We have a position player on the mound. We're tired of this stuff. We can't do it anymore." No. So Yermin goes out there and literally does his job well to the best of his ability. Like, basically did the best thing you could do at your job, and then got griped at for it by his manager. It's completely ridiculous. Tony La Russa should have his players back no matter what. Even if you disagree, in my opinion, you should not publicly disagree. I know that a lot of people said, well, he's probably just trying not to get guys thrown at. Well, one of his guys then got thrown at the next day, and he defended that as well. And went on and said, oh, I had no issue with the way the Twins handled it. Really? Would you have had an issue if the ball would have hit him in the face and ended his career? Then would you have had an issue, you old man? Jeez, it's ridiculous. I'm tired of these boomers and their old stupid rules. I have said forever I would be the worst MLB player ever, because if I ever hit a major league home run, I would moonwalk all the way around the bases, the whole way. Just picture me moonwalking real slow, and I would point at the pitcher the whole way and give him a little nod, and he would fight me. He would punch me right in the face, and I would do it every home run I hit, Tanner. Every home run, off a position player, off a pitcher, off the coach. I don't care. I don't care who's throwing it. I'm hitting dingers, baby. And I honestly, I think we should be applauding the guy for taking 47 mile an hour, 400 million feet over the center field wall. That looked difficult. Like if you watch that swing, like he really had to put some like oomph behind that, like he had everything in that thing. Not to mention that these things can actually have contract, can have a bidding in your contract when you go to arbitration. Yermin Mercedes is a 28-year-old rookie. He's not going to be out from underneath the White Sox thumb until he's 34. He's not going to get a contract at 34. So the only money this young man's going to get is going to be an arbitration where they literally pay you for stats. That's literally what they pay you for. Now, I've never heard an arbitration lawyer in an arbitration hearing say, well, yeah, but one of those home runs was off of a third baseman or something ridiculous. And also, Williams, why do you look so sad that he hit that? You are not a pitcher. He was like he thought he was going to come in and strike out the side or something. You're not Anthony Rizzo. Sit down, man. Smile. He hit a home run. It's a fun game. It's a sport. Hit home runs. Have fun. Tony La Russa, shut up. Worry about your own real issues and not your players' fun issues. I also think it's a terrible look to be in first place. And now instead of the national media talking about how good your team has been, how well the team's been playing, now all the attention is focused on you and your stupid old unwritten rules. So I just hate it. I've always thought stuff like that's silly. I hate when the older crowd gets mad about these weird unwritten rules. And I loved what Lance Lynn said. Lance Lynn said, yeah, those unwritten rules have become less and less written since I've been in the league or whatever. He said something to that effect. So I love that Yerman's teammates had his back. Just think his manager should have definitely had his back as well. A little bit ridiculous that his manager didn't have his back, especially after somebody got thrown at. So,
yeah, definitely. So let's take Major League Baseball and throw it aside here. Any sport from the youth to the professional level, you coach because you love your players. You coach because you have your players back. Tony La Russa in no way had Yermin Mercedes back, which it's appalling to me, first of all. And if you really do have a problem with him, that's fine. But do it in the office. Talk to him in the office. Have the conversation private. The media does not have to know about you calling the Twins and saying you're sorry for Yermin Mercedes going yard on a 3-0 count in the top of the ninth inning when you're up 15-4. The media doesn't have to know that you think Yermin Mercedes is clueless because he's a young player in this game. And as far as Lance Lynn, that comment where he said the unwritten rules are disappearing in this game, Tony La Russa said, I have an office, you have a locker. And that just bothered me so much when he said that. You have an office, Tony La Russa, you're a Hall of Fame manager because you couldn't hit in the big leagues. Lance Lynn has a bigger contract than you do.
yeah.
Okay. And one thing, you're the manager, it's your team, it's your club, but do not publicly embarrass your players. That's against the rules of coaching in general, not just Major League Baseball. But to say you're a Hall of Famer, you are. But a true Hall of Famer would never embarrass their players. They have their players back no matter what. And that's my biggest issue with this whole situation.
How many times does he have to remind people that he's a Hall of Fame manager? Like, I swear to God, that's all he's out to do at this point. Like, hey, man, good job.
I'm a Hall of Famer.
You coached Dennis Eckersley, Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco, Albert Pujols, Scott Rowland, Jim Edmonds. You didn't really have to do much, man. You really didn't. You threw pitchers' arms out in our bullpen. I remember years of that. Yes, we won a couple World Series with you whenever you were with the Cardinals, but told the cops that were arresting him, just completely wasted. Have you ever seen that video? He's like, Hey, man, I'm a Hall of Fame baseball guy person. Like, I was like, what? What'd you say? Funny, but not funny at all. Anyway, Tony La Russa definitely just needs to worry about himself. And I don't hate Tony La Russa as a manager or anything. I just was very surprised because that's something we really didn't see in St. Louis. He always had his guys back here. I mean, I watched the man try to fist fight Dusty Baker a million times for different Cardinals teams, and it was great. And he always had the teams back. So I didn't expect him to completely just throw Yermin under the bus. And I absolutely love that Tim Anderson, Lance Lynn, Lucas Giolito, I love that all those guys stood up and had his back. And you're trying to make a 28-year-old rookie feel ostracized. That's childish and I think a little ridiculous. And yeah, I really don't care. Exactly what you said. You have an office because you couldn't hit. Like if you could have hit, you would probably have a retirement home right now. So
Yeah.
Sorry, dude, but yeah, just like leave your weird old man things at home. We don't want to hear it. At anytime, actually, he's got the perfect person on his team for this. Anytime he feels like saying some stupid stuff like this, he should call Tim Anderson and be like, Tim, hey, I'm going to say this stupid stuff. And Tim will be like, nah, man, don't say that. That's dumb. This is what you should say. Just say whatever Tim Anderson wants you to say. Tim Anderson's got a fantastic, charismatic personality. The guy's fun. He crushes baseballs all over the field. Love Tim Anderson. Just listen to what Tim Anderson says. Or call up Yerman, listen to Yerman talk about himself in the third person. Ask him what Yerman would do. Hey, Yerman, what would Yerman do? What would Yerman say? Yerman would say this, Tony. So, let's just settle it down, Tony. Have your guys' backs. Come on, man. You're in first place in that division. Your team's playing even better than what a lot of people thought, especially after the Eloy injury and a few other things early in the year. Take this thing in stride, win games, less talk, more winning, swing. I mean, why can't I think of the guy's name? Who's the hit dingers guy? The guy who hates bunting, Keith.
Oh, the YouTube star, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. That's all. Yeah. Every time somebody says something like this, all I picture is that guy saying, never bunt, hit dingers. That's all I care about, okay? Hit dingers. That's what we want, Yerman. It was fun. And like I said, 47 over the wall, that's tough. And also, how is that guy only throwing 47, man? I'm not 100% certain, and my arm would probably fall all the way off, but I think I could still hit 50. I'm 35 years old. I think I could still hit 50, and I don't play in the major leagues, man. How is he only throwing 47 mile an hour? Was he really just trying to, you got to try that hard to throw strikes? I'd close my eyes and fall into the ball if I was on the mound at that point. Don't let him do that. That would, if it hit him or something. And also, even though it is fun for us to watch a position player pitching, why do we still do this? Why don't we add one roster spot? I know we just did. We moved to 26, but let's just add one more. Why add one more and give everybody an 8 or a 9-man bullpen so they can also have a 5-man bench? I've always been kind of an advocate of that. It's really silly that we ever bring a position player. At the same time, I don't blame them because, like I just said about Yerman and arbitration, these guys get paid for their stats. You don't want to make a guy wear it. They're just circling the bases on him, and he's just staring in that dugout, tear coming down his face, take me out, coach.
Yeah.
They're jacking me. I don't know what to do. And you got to leave them there nah, man, you're going to go broke in arbitration too. That sucks. Is why the arbitration system sucks. That's why MLB has to fix this in their next CBA. This conversation could lead us into so many other things, Tanner.
Yeah, it could. Definitely. There's so much to unravel. There's so many problems with the league right now. And this is one of them. The old school mentality needs to go and the new school needs to move in. As a fan, I want to see Yerman Mercedes hit bombs and then in the post-game press conference say, Yerman hit a bomb tonight. I want to see him refer to himself in the third person.
I'm Yerman. Yep. I want to see it's the episode of the Chappelle Show. Dylan, 1 through 5 right there. I just want to see him say that about himself. That's exactly right. Let the kids have some fun. Speaking of kids having fun, did you see that Tatis slide into second yesterday?
I did not.
It may have been today if the Padres had a day game. I saw the highlight earlier. He did the full, complete splits. Half his body is out into left field. The other half, somehow his left foot stays on the second base bag. It was a phenomenal.
Oh, I think I saw a picture of that. Yeah, I saw the picture of that. I didn't watch the
incredible athleticism. I don't know how he kept his foot on the bag. It was really cool to watch, though. I love watching all these young kids play. The league is, in my opinion, just now starting to get as fun as the NBA and the NFL, and as much fun as they have. And I love seeing it, and hate seeing guys like La Russa try to put a damper on it.
Yeah, it's in a great spot. We do have a comment here. Let's check that out. Who y'all got at pitcher tonight? What do you mean? Do you mean like for the game?
Which game?
Which game we talking about here? Well, which game we talking about? I'll tell you who we're picking tonight. I went 12-3 yesterday, so all right. Who y'all got a pitcher tonight? Let's see. Okay. There's a 7:05 game. I said we got Marlins Phillies. Okay, so first of all, before we get into that, let's give Baseball Spotlight a little shout out. I am currently 4-1 on the day, coming off a 12-1 or 12-3 day yesterday. So let's look. We got Marlins Phillies tonight. Sandy Alcantara versus Vince Velasquez. I'm going with the Phillies in this game. I think they figure it out. Eric, what do you think?
I think the Phillies got it as well. Velasquez has looked better. He's starting to look. He's getting a few more of the Ks like he was his rookie season. Not quite to where he was at his rookie year, of course. His rookie year, it looked like he was going to strike out 300 guys this season, but starting to get a few more Ks, which I love seeing.
Yeah, so then we got Red Sox, Blue Jays. I picked the Red Sox in this game. Nick Pavetta's going for them. He's 5-0, 3.16 ERA. You got Steven Matz going 5-2, 4.29. The Blue Jays are favored in this game. I chose the Red Sox because I'm a little biased towards the Red Sox, but I do think they pull out the win tonight. Who do you have here, Eric?
I got to roll with Steven Matz. That's my guy. It's one of the guys that I thought when he came up with the Mets, I always thought that Matz was going to be as good as DeGrom and Thor and all those guys. I thought they were just going to be like this monster trio. Didn't work out that way, but still a huge Steven Matz guy. So I'm going to roll with my man.
And then finally, we got D-backs and Dodgers. I did pick the Dodgers before they named a pitcher, but they named David Price as their starter, which is a little scary for me. He is going against the Diamondbacks. Merrill Kelly is throwing. Kelly 5.24 ERA on the season. Should be a pretty even pitching matchup. If Dodgers hit, I think they win. I'm going to go with the Dodgers. You don't bet against the best team in baseball, even if David Price, former Cy Young winner, is on the mound. Who you got here? And
I'm going Dodgers as well. Kelly has a problem keeping the ball in the yard this season as well. I believe he's given up 9 or 10 home runs as well this season. So he's got to keep the ball in the yard, and he is going up against a team that likes to take it out of the yard.
Yep, definitely. So JT the God 465, thanks for joining in on the conversation, guys. Thanks for watching tonight. Make sure to connect with us on social media at Tanner Kern, at Eric Neff 86, and at Sports 2.0 Network on Twitter and Instagram. Eric, blast having you on tonight, man. I will see you next Thursday at 6 p.m. for Between the Lines. And don't forget, guys, join in on Monday nights with me. We'll just be talking about news around the league. So, Eric, thanks for joining.
Thanks, man. We'll see you next week. Had a great time.
Yes, sir.
Was that a Pinocchio?
1-1, Scott to right. Deep and gone!
Sanchez hits one deep to